guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Hot Toys MMS 363 of the Black Panther from Captain America Civil War. For the package, much like all the other Civil War figures, you have an obvious up-close image of Black Panther here in the front, and then on the side, and as it wraps around, you got all the other characters that were involved in that very massive and very cool the airport battle scene, including, I think, for the first time, we're seeing Giant Man there. Also on the back, you have the various warnings and contact information for Hot Toys. And then when you lift up the slip sleeve cover, on the back of the inner package, you have the cast and crew responsible for making this figure. And then when you come around to the front, you have the open window that fully showcases the figure as well as all of his accessories. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Black Panther opened up out of its packaging and ready to join forces with Black Widow, War Machine, Vision, Iron Man, and of course myself as a member of Team Iron Man. Black Panther was one of the most memorable new characters introduced to us in the Civil War, and part of my love was the amazing look they developed for the costume, and Hot Toys replicated it flawlessly. Many times we don't get to see clearly the elegant and intricate details of a lot of the on-screen costumes, and that's an absolute shame, especially when it comes to the Black Panther, because it turned out great. Now, starting off first with his accessories, what you see is what you get. In addition to the two fisted hands that are currently on him, he comes with a both right and left kind of claw sort of hand with an amazing amount of detail on these gloves. I'm just blown away. Getting in really close so that you can see all those amazing details. You can see a lot of padding in addition to all the detail thrown into it. You even come to the fingers and you can see where obviously his claws would extend out. You look at the palms of the hands, you can see some nice padding in there as well. Well, the right and left hand have that amount of detail. And then what's cool is that they give you another pair of hands that are essentially sculpted the exact same way, but this time you have the claws that come out. So coming in a little bit closer to see that, as you can see, the positioning of the fingers is exactly the same. Sculpt obviously is going to be the exact same as well, but you can see that the other claws here are fully extended. I think more often than not, people are going to want to display their Black Panther with these. I just think that this is a much more iconic look for them. So I'm very happy to see that they included something like that. And like I said, it kind of gives you that sense of elegance that the suit has, that they look like this and then they become instantly very deadly. He also comes with his display stand with Captain America Civil War there on the top, as well as an image of Iron Man's arc reactor as being part of Team Iron Man. That's the look that they go for. You got the Civil War plate with the Black Panther name on there, and then you have the pillar with the adjustable cradle. But for his accessories, that's unfortunately it. Now, every single piece that he does come with is obviously incredibly well done, but I do wish he came with a little bit more. Now, as a hand-to-hand fighter, I don't really expect him to come with too much. It would have been nice if his fisted hands here had like holes kind of put through there where he could have grabbed Hawkeye's arrows. Not even necessarily give us different hands, just put holes in there. That would have been wonderful. The other thing is, I would have loved it if they gave us a T'Challa head sculpt. Why they didn't, I have no idea. Maybe they didn't have the likeness rights to the actor. That's pure speculation on my part. But those are the only two things that I really think that they could have added to round the figure out. But what you do get here is still absolutely wonderful. Now coming in to take a closer look at the figure, because as I said, there's an elegance to this overall costume that I think Hot Toys nailed absolutely beautifully. When you look at the different textures and layers of detail throughout the entire costume, despite the fact that it's a very, on the surface, simple costume, it really does, for me, blow me away. I mean, looking at the facial details and everything, great sculpt across the side. One thing that's amazing is you can actually see the texturing on the eyes, like there's a kind of a screen on them. Again, that's something that you don't necessarily notice very well when you're just looking at the movie itself. I mean, you get a true level of appreciation when you can grab hold of the figure and look at all the details so closely. His necklace looks really nice. But again, you just look at all the different weaved in details. You can see there's an asymmetry to it where you can kind of see that like once a strip comes down and then it stops and then the other one comes down and completes it. But it gives it this kind of off-centered sort of look that really does feel like a constructed piece. I mean, it looks absolutely terrific. Great detail with the little claw sections down here on the forearms. Again, great textural detail on the upper part of the arms. Come around here to the back again. Great detail that comes through all the way down through the entire body. Very nice musculature through it. I'm also noticing some little silver bits right here along the sides. You come down here to the boot section, you can see that while this has a very similar look to it, you can definitely see that this is a boot design. And then you come down to the feet, you got the claws down here for the feet. Great textural detail across the boot or shoe, I guess you could say. You come around to the bottom and you even got some great detail on the bottom of the foot. So I mean, amazing, stellar detail put out that absolutely captures the elegant look for the suit and gives it a very, very regal look to it. Now, one thing I'll say about this suit also is that it is very forgiving when it comes to the articulation. There really doesn't seem to be much in terms of restrictions for it, and you can get this guy in a lot of very cool poses, which is necessary when you're talking about a character like the Black Panther. So starting off first with the head, you can see that this is on a ball joint. It can come off, but this whole section here, you got a ball joint here, and then you got a ball joint right down there, that when you keep that in there, you can get a nice range of motion with just the head. And then the next section here does flex forward and back, and it can also pivot side to side. So you get a nice range of motion there. The shoulders here move in and out very, very nicely. You also have a bit of an armpit joint that allows you to flex it forward and back. You can move them forward, but I guess you could say that this is a bit of a restriction, but as you manipulate the suit around, you can get the arm going even further up. One thing that's also very nice about the suit is because this is I don't want to say rubbery kind of suit like some of the other ones that we've gotten, but it does have a very unique feel to it that I don't honestly know if we've had a suit like this in the past, but it does bunch up in some areas. But like, for example, when you bend the elbow, you get a little bit of a stretch down here at the bottom, and then when you bring it back, as you can see, it does get bunched up, but you can straighten that out. And it really does go back to the original shape fairly quickly. You just kind of stretch it all out a little bit, and it goes back to that original shape very fast, which is amazing. I love that. So you do get that range of motion with the shoulders. As you can see, you get the double joint here for the elbow. He also rotates at the upper part of the bicep. The wrists here do rotate. They move forward and back. As you can see, the way that they do the actual suit is the cuffs kind of come down here to the wrist area. So you do want to be careful when you're talking about the actual gloves, because if you don't have that lifted back a little bit, you could rub on the bottom section of the actual suit. So just make sure you lift that kind of over so that it doesn't damage that or anything. He does have a upper diaphragm joint. You can move it forward and back, side to side, all that kind of stuff. He does have a waist rotation, which is separate from the diaphragm section, so you can rotate that around, get a nice range of motion with that. And then again, you can see it bunches up, but then you put it back and it almost instantly goes away. It's amazing how that works. He can move forward and back very nicely at the hips. Again, you got that little bunch up right there, and then you put it back, and very quickly it just smooths out. It's just very amazing. It moves in and out here at the hips as well. He rotates at the upper part of the thigh. He's got two joints down here at the knee that flex very, very nicely. Again, as you bring that back, those wrinkles essentially just disappear. Then you come down here to the ankle, and the actual foot section is separate from the boot, so you can see you get a nice flex going forward and back, and it moves in and out very nicely. So lots of articulation there in the ankles. So in terms of posability, I really cannot imagine you not getting him in a pose that would be indicative of the Black Panther and very character specific for him. All the articulation is there, and the way that the suit is designed really allows you to utilize it to its fullest potential. This guy really did turn out great. Now, I don't like saying things like this very often, and I usually completely shy away from it. But this figure easily could be one of the top for the year 2017. Now, I know it's January and the year's just started. We have a long way to go and a lot of other really cool figures coming out. But this one just hits it on just about every aspect, I think. Hot Toys captured the likeness perfectly. All the amazing details that are put in this really give you a full appreciation of the elegance and just regal nature of the Black Panther costume. A costume that, whatever they did to develop it, really is one of the best that I've seen on a Hot Toy figure to date. Really, nothing in the costume limits the articulation in this guy. Because of it, you can get some really awesome poses. I just happen to be terrible at posing, but I'm sure a lot of you creative people out there can really utilize it to get some really great looks. However, I do wish we did get a couple other extra accessories with him. I think giving him some hands, or maybe not even extra hands, just making the fisted hands that he comes with capable of holding arrows, that would have been a cool accessory. And while I would have loved to have a T'Challa head sculpt, honestly, in my display, I probably wouldn't even use it. So while it would have been cool to have those extra pieces, I think for a display, those are, for me, pieces that wouldn't have ever actually made it out. So the lack of them doesn't bother me all that much. Everything else about this figure, to me though, is a home run. As a standalone piece, he looks terrific. But with the likes of War Machine, Iron Man, Black Widow, and yes, even Spider-Man, he looks great as a part of Team Iron Man. So if this is a figure that you'd like to add to your collection, he is available right now at Sideshow Collectibles. So all you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Sideshow where you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of their wide range of Hot Toys Captain America Civil War figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, to please hit that thumbs up button. It goes a long way towards helping me out, and I'd really appreciate it. Also, be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you never miss out on a future review of mine. Or if you're already subscribed, be sure to click on that little bell right below this video, and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. Go ahead, do it. I'll wait. And until next time, be excellent to each other.